The Fiat Fiorino is a light commercial vehicle produced by the Italian manufacturer Fiat from 1977 to 2000 and from 2007 to present. Its first two generations have been the van derivatives of other small models, such as the Fiat 127 and Fiat Uno, while the current third generation was developed jointly with PSA Peugeot Citroën and is based on the Fiat Small platform. The current generation, the Sevel LAV, is also built with a passenger body style, as the Fiat Qubo, and is marketed along its rebadged versions, the Citroën Nemo and the Peugeot Bipper. It is situated below the Fiat Doblò, the Citroën Berlingo and the Peugeot Partner, in each manufacturer's model lineup. The name comes from an old Italian coin, normally translated into English as the florin. First generation. The first version of the Fiorino is based on the Series 2 Fiat 127 with the back being a van box, that is a 1.3 meters tall high cube design, an arrangement subsequently emulated by several European automakers. It was launched in early November 1977, and received a facelift in 1980. The Fiorino used the same engines as Fiat 127. The first generation of Fiorino was assembled in Minas Gerais plant, Brazil and in Car Qubo Doblò, Argentina. The coupe utility version was called Fiat 147 Pickup City in Brazil. Spanish version in Spain the Fiorino was produced by Seat and Fiat in a joint venture and called the Imelba 127 Polka and was available as a panel van or pickup. The 127 Polka was later renamed the Seat Fiorino, which ended production in 1986 and was replaced by the Seat Terra, which shares the same engine as the Seat 127. The Spanish Fiorino was built in Barcelona factory. Engines. Second generation. In 1988 a more modern version was published, it was based upon the Brazilian Fiat Uno. Second generation Fiorino was made also as panorama and pickup body styles. The Fiorino for the European market was sold in over 250,000 until 2000. In Europe, it was a great success, especially as a panel van version. The United Kingdom's last year of Fiorino importation was 2001, a year after production ceased in Europe. In 1992 a facelifted Fiorino debuted, with a new style inspired by the Fiat Tipo, and it received re-engineered platform, new interior and more ecological engine. The last facelift for the European market was introduced in 1997. In 1994 a new version based on the Fiat Uno platform debuted in South America. This version assembled in Minas Gerais plant is still on sale in Brazil, Paraguay, Argentina and Chile. The Fiorino second generation was also assembled in Argentina earlier. Over 1.000 Fiorinos has been sold in the South America. In 2004 a new facelift version made debut with Fiat Doblò squared front style. In 2009 Fiat introduced a new version with new red Fiat logo in the front of the car. The Fiat Fiorino was constructed in the factory of Car Qubo Doblò, Argentina until 2000. Production of the second generation of Fiorino was dropped in December 2013. When the new generation was unveiled based on the same platform of the new Brazilian Fiat Uno. The Fiorino was the leader of the segment for 23 consecutive years. Engines. The engines of the Fiat 1.7 L8V diesel naturally aspirated or turbocharged, the 1.2L and the 1.4 L8V fire petrol and for the South America the flex engine 1.0L and 1.5 L8V. In Brazil, both 1242cc engines are currently available as flexible fuel technology, working on both gasoline and ethanol. 1.0L gas, 1.2L fire, 1.4L petrol, 1.5L gas, 1.7L diesel and turbodiesel. Third generation. The third generation Fiat Fiorino leisure activity vehicle was unveiled in mid-2007 and went on sale in early 2008. The Fiorino shares architecture and bodywork with the Citroën Nemo and Peugeot Bipper under the Sevel joint venture between Fiat and PSA Peugeot Citroën. Built by Tofaş in Bursa, Turkey, they are produced in both panel van and passenger body styles and are situated below the larger LAV's Fiat Doblò Citroën Berlingo and Peugeot Partner, in their manufacturers' lineups. Fiat also retails its passenger model as the Fiat Qubo, with the Fiorino name designating the commercial panel van models. The Fiorino and its siblings are based on the Fiat Gran Punto platform, with a wheelbase of 2,513 mm. This project can be seen as a breakthrough in TOFA history as it carried most of the development work in addition to responsibility for its assembly. Fiat launched their passenger-carrying equivalent at the Geneva Motor Show in March 2008. It is branded as the Fiat Qubo. A derivative of the Fiorino, a passenger version of Fiorino was unveiled in June 2008. This version is suitable for up to 5 people and can be equipped with different engines, including a 1.3 multi-jet diesel or 1.4-litre petrol engine with 73 picoseconds. The choice of gearboxes is either a 5-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. In some countries, this car is simply sold as the Fiorino. The Fiat Fiorino Cargo Electric is produced by Microvet. Citroën Nemo equals. The Citroën Nemo is a badge-engineered van launched in January 2008 by Citroën. The vehicle is the result of a partnership between Fiat, PSA Peugeot Citroën and TOFA. The other platform derivatives are the Peugeot Bipper and the Fiat Fiorino. The Citroën Nemo Multispace is a small MPV also introduced in 2008 and based on the same platform. In April 2010, during a routine evasive maneuver test, conducted in Germany, the vehicle rolled over. The shape of the vehicle as a high-bodied, short-wheelbase van caused the roll. The addition of electronic stability control would likely have prevented this but was not available as standard or as an option on the Nemo. Peugeot Bipper equals. The Peugeot Bipper is a small delivery van sold by French automaker Peugeot since May 2008. It shares its body, platform and most components with the same generations of the Citroën Nemo and Fiat Fiorino. The Citroën Nemo, Fiat Fiorino 3 and Peugeot Bipper were developed jointly with TOFA following a cooperation agreement signed on March 31, 2005. The vans are manufactured on behalf of all the partners in Bursa by TOFA. The claim is advanced that the Bipper, a mini-car van designed for big and small cities, cheaper and a little smaller than the Peugeot Partner. It is asserted that the little van is easy to park, handy for deliveries, and faster than competitor vehicles. The Peugeot Bipper TP is a small MPV also introduced in 2008 and based on the same platform. Engines equals. Sales and production figures equals. Third generation, in 2013 a new version of the Fiat Fiorino van, different from the European version, was introduced in Brazil where it is produced. It replaces in Brazil and other Latin American markets the second-generation Fiorino, produced in Brazil since 1994. As the previous, the Fiorino was based on the first-generation Fiat Uno and its later Fiat Mille evolution. The new one is developed from the second-generation Brazilian-built Fiat Uno, an all-new model launched in 2010. The vehicle was introduced in October 2013 as a 2014 model at the 19th edition of the Fenetron, alongside the Uno €4. The panel van version of the Uno it is based on. The Fiorino is offered with the 1.4 EVO Flex flexible fuel 1368 cc's 4-cylinder used in the Uno, from the Fire engine family. It produces 85 or 88 picoseconds at 5,750 rpms and 122 or 123 Nm at 3,500 rpms, when running on petrol or ethanol fuel respectively. Notes. References. External links: Fiat Professional UK.